Will from the Think Different podcast, back again for another quick episode talking about the new Apple TV 4K. To me, the best streaming box on the planet. Nothing compares. Roku won't compare. Google won't compare. Fire Stick won't compare. This is the best, and Apple has just upgraded this model to something brand new at a new starting price. So Apple yesterday released the iPad Pro, and now they have a new Apple TV 4K. They are adding a A15 Bionic chip. They have the HDR10 that's being added there, and they also have discounted the price, but there is a caveat to that discount. So real quick on the website, they just basically talk about the new things that are coming out. I want to focus on what the new pricing point will start at, which is at $129, and it's beginning Friday, November 4th. They now support HDR10 Plus, which is a more richness quality, which is not really a big deal. To me, I will never use that. But I wanted to go through a couple of different things that are coming out for this Apple TV, and some things that have changed, not just about, because there's really not much of a change that's happening here. So let's first talk about this, is that it starts at $129, which again is a great price. It now is 64 gigabytes, which it was 32. Okay. Now we are going down from 179 down to 129, which is great. Now, if you want to add more storage, you can also get the 128 gig Apple TV 4K for $149, but there is a physical difference inside of that box. It's going to add a gigabyte Ethernet, which personally I don't use because I actually don't have a Ethernet connection possible, as well as Thread IoT standard. Now, what that means is that they are allowing you to use it as a hub. So what that means is that if you have a smart home and you want to be able to access stuff in your home remotely, you need to have that model. So I have to make that very, very clear. The 129 does not include that, and the 149 model does. So you're talking about a $20 difference between having size, an Ethernet option, and a smart home option. So my previous Apple TV 4K has that. Okay, now another thing is the new Apple Siri Remote. So the Apple Siri Remote has changed from a Lightning connector to now USB-C, which, by the way, I believe it is $69 if you want to buy the remote by itself, which to me is ridiculous. You should absolutely just get an Apple TV at that point, because then if you look at the value of the remote compared to the box. So really, if what I think would be interesting is if Apple made an Apple TV 4K, but the remote did not come in the box. Think of the price difference that would be just for not having it. Because remember, you could use your remote from your phone to control it. So I think Apple's smartest play would have been to even go down further and done that for like $79 or even $50 for the Apple TV 4K, and don't include the Siri Remote in the box. Because if you had a previous Apple TV HD or 4K and you already have a remote, you don't need to buy another remote. So that's why I'm thinking that they should have maybe excluded the remote in the box if they're charging you $61 for it. Some new features that are coming out in tvOS is that Siri has been redesigned with a more compact interface and allows the users to quickly view results at a glance on the bottom right corner of the screen. I love that. I hate when it takes up the entire screen. So this is a beautiful new feature. And then this Siri recognition for up to 6 family members, not really a big deal for me. No one else uses it in my house. But wearing AirPods, you'll be able to use Hey Siri, which I love that. So those are some new tvOS 16.1 features coming. Apple TV is no longer including a charging cable for the Siri Remote, so you will have to get your own, which is, of course, and by the way, it's $59 for the Siri Remote, so I apologize in the previous thing I said that. And you can also buy the USB-C cable with a woven design for $19. Now, woven design is so much better than that old Lightning connector cheap cable that Apple used to give. So hopefully it will not break as often. I don't think they will with that type of cable. So that's a new thing as well. Also, that the Apple TV is actually thinner. So they don't have a fan built into the Apple TV anymore. So that makes it quite thinner. You know, because right now, a lot of your phones, a lot of items don't even have a fan inside. So they were able to make the Apple TV, which, I don't hear the Apple TV fan anyway, but it definitely doesn't need it. I don't know why it would even need it. So they're able to knock down a lot of items out of there, which is why I think the price went down, because they were able to take so much stuff out of it. So that's a nice plus that they're going to be getting, that they got rid of a lot of the weight out of it. And finally, the Apple TV HD, which was originally like a 149 price box anyway, is now being discontinued. I can tell you personally, I had an Apple TV HD which was syncing directly to my HomePods. I had a lot of issues with it, which is why I got the Apple TV 4K to begin with, and I had a completely different experience. So if you want a really cheap box and you can find it on discount, I have a feeling this holiday you're going to be able to find the Apple TV for $99. I really do. So I hope this gave some information about what happened with the Apple TV 4K, just a little bit of tidbits or information about it. Definitely go out and buy one if you don't have one. And if you think the $20 is worth having it as a hub, even if you don't have it as a hub, you should at least have a HomePod, because a HomePod can do the same thing. So if you have a HomePod in your home, then there's no reason to get the 149. You can stick with the 129. However, if you don't, if this is your first experience having the opportunity to have a smart home in your home and you have nothing else in your home that could be that, because remember, iPad cannot do that anymore, I would recommend getting an Apple TV 4K. So that's just my opinion. It's the best streaming box out there. I don't care what the price costs for it. It is the best remote. It is the best. It is the fastest box that you can get. Siri works really well. I use Siri all the time to go from my YouTube TV to my HBO Max, things like that. So I'm glad Apple discounted the price. I think it's absolutely necessary. And I think if you wait for our Black Friday, usually we do a big Black Friday special, I think you're going to see this down to $99. So you don't have to buy it now, but I would wait till Black Friday to see what comes out. Thank you guys for this quick video. I love every single one of you.